A better tomorrow begins with one choice today. To get your free same-day doctor consultation, text HOPE to 54504. Text HOPE to 54504. Text HOPE to 54504 now.
Now, from The Signature, a division of Esquire Bank Studios.
This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
I've always believed the definition of tyranny is taking your money in the name of something that sickens you. Illinois has become not more than proficient, has become an expert on taking money from decent people and spending it in ways that are directly against the conscience of those good people. My next guest is trying to fight against that tirelessly. Illinois has an assisted suicide law that takes effect next month on the 12th. So we'll be paying for abortions and for people to kill themselves, as the people who would partake in this probably aren't paying them their own way. He is a candidate for the Illinois House 17, president of Wireless.dv Corporation, software and development company. He also sits on the board of directors of the First Step House, a men's halfway house for recovering alcoholics. Jim Geldermann, how are you?
Shaun, glad to be with you today.
Well, I have to tell you, I have the privilege of knowing your brother.
Cousin Bert, I just talked to him. Bert. He said to say hi.
Oh, please tell him I said hello. But more importantly, your family are people who are entrepreneurs. You're business people. All of you really are very gifted at this. And it pains me to hear J.B. Pritzker talk about a healthy economy in Illinois as he taxes in Illinois gas taxes and blames oil companies. I mean, it is amazing how the character of the Illinoisan has devolved so much that they allow these imbeciles to become their representation, isn't it?
So my opponent doesn't know what a woman is, can't tell you what an assault rifle is, and doesn't know when life begins. She supports the mutilation of children in and out of the womb. She's bought and paid for by the mental health charlatans that are sucking money out of the health insurance industry. She's for men getting pap smears and women getting prostate exams. And there's this moral relativism that she promotes, that whatever you feel must be it.
Wait a minute, men, you lost me at men pap smears. Because I believe I used to hang around with a guy that got caught in a whorehouse once, and he told his wife he was just getting a pap smear. How does a man get a pap smear? Can you explain this to me?
Well, the problem is that the people don't realize health insurance is one of the most regulated insurance products in the state of Illinois, in any state. And so it is actually the state that tells the health insurance companies that they have to put this stuff in. So because now they have to, figure out what that's going to cost, that's one of the reasons why health insurance rates go up.
Oh, just that and the backdoor nationalization of it and the fascism in it and the fact that the quality has devolved. I mean, when you look at, I can't think of a policy that is a success in Illinois. Can you think of one policy that's been signed into law over the last 30 years that, number one, worked as it was promised or worked in any fashion other than bankruptcy and financial scandal? Can you think of one?
Well, the simple fact is we need to start doing, Sophie Cunningham and start pointing fingers at people. Everything, these junk laws that we have, whether it's assisted suicide or sanctuary status, there's some insider making a ton of dough off of it. And that the Democrats keep bringing people into that it's the new slavery, that they trafficked people up here to be able to take advantage of all these different programs, and there's no test to them. So, who knows how much money they're actually spending, and these NGOs and the Democrat insiders are making all the money off this stuff.
Well,
so forget about the false compassion that we got to feel sorry, for people. Yeah, yes, a lot of people that were trafficked up here, where we should have some sympathy for. We shouldn't have any sympathy for the new night riders that the Democrats brought up to keep them in place.
The lack of specificity I always find amazing. What does an assisted suicide cost the Illinois taxpayer?
Well, we don't know that yet. There's so what happens is somebody who's thinks that they qualify for assisted suicide. Now, in the original law, and I was just talking to Thomas Moore today about it, it's unclear that if you can give suicide prevention counseling to somebody seeking assisted suicide. So it's and really what it's just a couple pills that they're going to prescribe. But the studies out of Canada are showing now that this is not a take a pill, lay down in your bed, and take a dirt nap. These are very painful experiences that people go through, and it's not it's not as portrayed. Now in Europe, the talk about the slippery slope. In Europe now, they're allowing people to make assisted suicide decisions for people from the ages of 1 to 12.
Well, Canada's steeped in a scandal, too. They do the same thing. You don't have to go all the way to Europe. Canada's doing the same thing. But, when you look at just the numbers, these baby murderers, these abortion mills, the Illinois admits to spending $34 million annually on abortion. Mm-hmm. So the Illinois state taxpayer is paying $34 million a year to kill babies. How much more are they going to spend to kill people who are depressed or found some doctor that wants to make money by killing them? And, you start to look at this. It is really a death culture where it's tourism to kill the baby already. So on September 12th, when this starts, on September 13th, it'll be tourism to kill yourself. Are there any restrictions? Do you have to be an Illinoisan? Do you have to have numerous doctors that see you? Do you know any specificity to this? Or is it just one of those cases of, listen, I'm having a hard time. I fell off the wagon. I'm back on dope. Somebody kill me.
So it's, the law is written in such a way, and I'm not an expert on the way the law is written, and I'll get to that in a second, but it's written in such a way that they say there's all these safeguards. But, when you have a corrupt mental health industry that takes advantage of people who are in crisis, there's really no safeguards for it.
No, and in fact, it's an industry unto itself. I just had a friend of mine pass away a week and a half ago. My exact age, we grew up together, the same thing. He had been turned into the system very young, and he was schooled on how to answer. He had his own psychiatrist that was paid for by Medicare and Medicaid and the state and the federal government and all the rest of it. And I watched it firsthand, and this is a kid who was really very smart up until he made this terrible decision to be lazy. But it was a fascinating industry to watch because it's an entire sector, right. an entire medical, as I call it, medical malpractice, medical fraud that exists to make certain there are people that never ever have to partake in the responsibilities of American life. And it's, the cost of it, when you look at it and you compartmentalize it, it may not seem that big that, Illinois gets, I don't know how many billions of dollars a year in reimbursements for this. But when you look at it on a national level, you're talking $1.5 trillion, $1.6 trillion a year that we're spending just to keep people qualified enough to be on disability. So there's an entire sector. And what I like now about the Trump administration, they're arresting doctors that are partaking in this from California to New York. Have you heard anything about any kind of auditing system in Illinois? Is this system, in fact, audited by anybody other than a Democrat?
Well, I don't know anything about that. The point I want to get to before we leave is, for 30 years, I've been an extraordinary Eucharistic minister, which means that I bring the Eucharist into homebound and institutions. And for 15 years, I had a ministry. I was ministering to people who are actively dying. And these end-stage people have such a gift that they share with their friends and family by gatherings together. And what the Democrats have done, they turned turned happiness into a buzz instead of, calling us to be with people who are in suffering. And so there's this idea that we shouldn't suffer, and there's no gift in that. Our soon-to-be blessed Fulton Sheen from Peoria has a beautiful, and it's on our YouTube channel, about false compassion, where people, say that, that we have to have sympathy and empathy for people, to actually because they're inconvenient in our life. And so what I'm doing is I'm calling the Catholic bishops, the Respect Life Ministries and Catholic men to come together for 9 days of prayer before the 12th and have Archangel Raphael, who intercedes for people who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders and helps them to actually break through and ask for help. And so I want to pray for people who are suffering that way, but I also want to pray for people who are taking advantage of these people, that they have a come-to experience and, make a complete about-face.
I'm interested because this I know what you do and how important that is to have the people who deliver the Eucharist. My mother-in-law is one of these people who spends a tremendous amount of time, and I think it's a magnanimous, wonderful thing you do. I'm curious to know. I kind of look at a lot of news, Jim. You wouldn't believe it, but it's kind of part of my life, every minute of every day. I personally haven't seen anything of the Chicago Archdiocese commenting on this assisted suicide law. Where have they fallen on this? Why is this a secret?
No, it's there are some things in the works. They're going to have a workshop for the clergy and the Respect Life Ministries in the end of September. Thomas More Society is very involved. They're about to file a very large lawsuit against the state. Some of the things hinge on First and Second Amendment. Second Amendment being that, having a well-organized militia that we're not allowed to organize for these things. So there's a lot of things going on, behind the scenes. I will say the big news out is the advocate system, which is Lutheran. They said they're not going to offer any counseling for assisted suicide.
Well, this is very important, and I think it's something that people need to talk about. I love the idea that you're out there fighting against it, and the Thomas More Society is a wonderful organization, so we love the idea we can help them. Where should people keep an eye on this, and where's the best place for everybody? You mentioned a YouTube channel. What is that channel?
So we started a project called the North Cook Democracy Project, where we're training people to go stand and to talk during the open forum sessions at the village and school board and park district. And so that's part of our my campaign's YouTube channel. So my campaign website is jim4hd17.com, and we'll be posting a lot of information there.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. I love the idea that you continue to put up this fight. It's very important. I love that you made the idea that you're going to do it. You're going to stay, and I know you could leave at any time you want. So I think it's great. I think it's admirable what you're doing, and I hope for against hope that you have a chance of winning. And as you said, we have to pray that you're going to have a chance of winning and that things have a chance of changing in Illinois. So I love the idea that you are steadfast in this. So good luck to you. I wish you the best of luck. Just don't ask me to make odds on it, okay?
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
He believes in freedom, capitalism, and individual liberty. And because of that,
He's become an enemy of the state.
he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
MyPillow is celebrating our country's 250th anniversary with savings up to 50% off their made in the